morning, hello, hi there, hi, take a seat. Hey, it's me, Stefan. Welcome to another edition of Stefan Reads Line News here on Small in Japan, the YouTube channel where we talk about what is small/big in Japan. That makes no sense, but it's the tagline we've been using for years, so we're using it here today too. If this is your first time listening, remember to like, subscribe, all the typical YouTube stuff. You can find us on Twitter at small_in_Japan. Find me on Twitter at Stefan_Tetsu. And of course, the Patreon is there, patreon.com/smallinjapan. And we have a Discord channel, which I keep forgetting to put the link to. And we welcome all comers here on Small in Japan. Anyways, Line is the biggest messaging app in Japan, and it has its own news tab now, which aggregates random, typically BS nonsense news stories for me every single day, and I like to read them on this here segment whenever I have the time. It's a thing. Yeah, most of the time it's meaningless. Sometimes you get good stuff. Today, I'm just going to assume it's going to be meaningless because I am, yeah. Alright. So today is September 1st, 2022. September, it's like the month of fall. Or the start of fall, I should say. Let's get right to it. So Line News has 2 rows of meaningless fluff stories with pictures and headlines, and then in between those, in a little sandwich, are the 3 actual news headlines, which we will get to in a second, but first let's get through all this fluff. Story number 1. I guess it's maybe not fluff after all. Story 1 is about 3 people being arrested for secretly buying land in Okinawa for Yakuza use. It was only 1,800 square meters, so that's like less than half an acre. But in case you are unaware, it's illegal for Yakuza members to buy land. And it's also illegal for people to buy land for Yakuza members. It's just the Japanese government's way of really combating organized crime here. It's working, actually. It's working pretty well, at least in Tokyo, as far as that's concerned. So there, it was a member of the Yamaguchi-gumi, which is like the biggest Yakuza family out there. And so he used a couple of people from for someone from Sapporo, a woman who's 35 years old, mushoku, so no job, and a 56-year-old like businessman from Fukushima to help him buy land in 2019 in Okinawa. No idea what it was going to be used for. But it reportedly cost him, let's see, how much does this cost? It cost him about 4 million yen. So you're looking at like $40,000? Maybe, no, $400,000, I believe, which is quite a bit of change. But not too much. That's just, I guess, how little things cost outside of Tokyo. So, yeah, these guys were arrested, so let that be a lesson to you. I don't think anyone listening is going to have this problem, but if some skeevy-looking guy, asks you to buy property for him, he's probably up to no good. No one who can buy property is going to ask you to buy property for them without, their only reason they're asking you to buy property for them is because they can't buy it themselves. Ergo, they are actually Yakuza members. So, just a pro tip. Anyways, moving on. Story number 2. Now we get to the fluff. Miyawaki Sakura, former HKT member and former Kankoku Korean idol. I guess she's currently a Korean idol. Or she's in a Korean group. Les Seraphim? Never heard of it before. But anyways, Miyawaki Sakura posted a picture on Instagram at the pool, which is always good for likes. And she wrote the caption in Korean, which makes sense. And apparently, she got over 500,000 likes on this picture. So good for her. That is literally the entire news story here. And that does it for that first top row of pointless news stories. The one story was actually not exactly pointless. It was actually kind of news. But let's get to that second row where you will see maybe more of the same. So story number 3, Ayase Haruka, the actress slash spokesperson for like every single product in Japan, cut her hair for the first time since she was in her teens. Which is big news here, apparently. She revealed this new haircut at a press conference for Uniqlo's latest Lifewear exhibition brand reveal. She talks about how she's always had this image of having long hair, and it's the first time she's done this. Or she shaved her head when she was in her teens. Ooh, I wonder if it was some apology or something, which is something that people sometimes do in Japan. And anyways, she says that her fashion sense has kind of changed since she's cut her hair, and she doesn't know what to wear because it's her first time with short hair in a long time. And that is actually the news story. Good on Uniqlo for getting that free publicity for their spokesperson having a haircut. Hopefully it was free. Hopefully they didn't have to pay for that. Story number 4. Speaking of corporations using spokespeople, Toyota. We covered this last week, but Kagawa Teruyuki's been in a bit of a pinch recently after accusations of sexual misconduct, ergo sexual assault, have kind of hit the airwaves. So last week, Toyota said they weren't going to pull Kagawa Teruyuki's commercials, but today they revealed that they're going to be pulling Kagawa's commercials. Really, they're kind of like interviews with like the president of Toyota and stuff like that. They're going to be pulling those commercials after all. It's kind of they probably should have gone with this to start. I mean, I at least until we do our due diligence, let's pull the ads. Like if they had that stance, I think it probably would have looked better than no, we're fine, we're gonna keep airing these ads. Oh no, never mind, we're gonna stop airing these ads now because it turns out sexual assault is bad. I think the way that they handled this has not been great, but then again, Toyota has not exactly been a beacon of ethical conduct over the last couple of years. So, good for them, I guess. I kind of expected this to happen, but the timing of it, like happening a week after the accusations came out and after they said they wouldn't do it, is kind of curious, to say the least. Okay, so those are the 4 fluff pieces. Let's get to the 3 actual news stories. And they, honestly, some of these aren't really as newsy as the top story, I guess. But story number 1, there's chances of heavy rain from Tohoku to Kyushu, so pretty much all Japan. And the typhoon is the heavy typhoon we were talking about yesterday is also continuing to hit Okinawa, and it's like kind of taking a weird path where like it's gonna head south a little bit, then like veer back up north and probably hit the rest of Japan in the coming week. But there's quite a bit of rain apparently. It's quite a strong hurricane by many accounts, so hopefully if you're in Okinawa you stay safe, and hopefully it doesn't cause too much harm in the meantime. So story number 2 is more Toitsu Kyokai Unification Church coverage. This is literally all anyone talks about now after the Shinzo Abe assassination. But anyways, the story here is a Tokyo City Hall guy was buying the official Unification Church newspaper for 5 years. He actually spent 130,000 yen over 5 years on this, and he marked it down as a political expense, which is obviously going to raise some eyebrows since church and state and all that jazz. And so this guy Shimizu is a representative of Tachikawa-shi, so like the boonies of Tokyo, like on the outskirts. So apparently he's been buying Toitsu Kyokai's official newspaper for 5 years from 2017 to 2022, so well, he actually stopped buying it in March, so he stopped buying it before it became a thing, or before people really became aware of how Toys Kyokai is. Um, so yeah, he's apparently 1 month cost 2,776 yen, um, and he bought it over 47 months. Still 100 or yeah, so like 130,000 yen would be like what, like $1,800 or so, which is quite a bit for newspapers. I don't know. I don't buy newspapers. I subscribe. I mean, I'm not sure if that's a lot or if it's cheap, but yeah, this guy spent a good like 2 grand on newspapers over 5 years to get favor from Toits Kyokai. So hopefully it worked out for him. Um, yeah, I think everyone's kind of getting a reckoning with this stuff right now. So we'll see what happens there. Um, so moving on to story number 3. Yes, things are expensive. Inflation is hitting Japan, probably more than other countries, which are also being hit by inflation. But over 2,000 different food products are seeing their price increase in September. And the peak is still yet in sight, according to this article. We're seeing things like potato chips get expensive. Uniqlo is raising its costs for clothes. Its fleece is up by 1,000 yen, I guess. I don't know why fleece is the indicator here. Ito Ham is raising the price of its cream cheese. Yeah, I guess that's the indicator on that end. But yeah, over 2,000 products are raising their costs. Yeah, it's pretty expensive here. Although, if you buying stuff with American dollars, it's probably not as cost effective as it was like a month ago, but it's still gonna be yeah. Japan's kind of missing out by not having tourism open right now because lots of people could just like buy stuff for cheap here, and it would probably kind of help boost the economy. But I'm no economist, so for all I know, that's not right. Anyways, that about does it for today. Thank you guys so much for listening. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. Until next time, thank you for listening. Take care.